I know people have things to do um, today. And so we're going to talk about scaling your business. And this is an important topic for ed consultants. And we're going to really get into why this is so important, especially for ed consultants, because we typically start out as solopreneurs. And so the goal is that you don't stay that way. You do not continue to be a solopreneur. And so we're gonna talk about the actual ways to scale your business today. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank y'all for joining me today. There will be more people popping in and then some who will catch this in the replay. If you have not downloaded your workbook, go ahead and download your workbook and follow along in the workbook. It should be fillable, if I'm not mistaken, but download your workbook and that will help you to keep up with what's going on in the session. We have over 500 people who are registered for these sessions and these replays. And so the thing that I always like to share and I always like to be clear is that this is not a sales presentation. So I know that there are some people who are here who came or who are interested and they are wondering, like, okay, what's the sale? You came here for information and for strategy and know-how, and that's exactly what I'm going to give you. Now, will I give you an opportunity to support the work that you want to do? I absolutely will. But again, the information that you came for, that's absolutely what you're going to get. So I'm not interested, or I don't do the bait and switches where I tell you you're going to get one thing and then switch over to something else that does not benefit you. You will see that in this process, everything that I'm going to give you is exactly what I said I would give you, and you're going to get everything that you came here plus more. I want to remind you that this is not a get rich quick scheme. If you're looking for a get rich quick scheme, you want to be rich tomorrow, you want to be rich in 6-12 months, this is probably not the place for you. That's not how things work. And I'm not going to sit and pretend that that is how things work. So that, and then also, I know we work in schools and you all are used to political correctness because there is a lot of politics inside of schools. And that's not this. I'm not a politician and I'm not looking to be a politician. And this is not a political platform. And so I will tell you about my story, about what is true for me. And if it resonates with you, that's amazing. And if I can support you, that's even more amazing. But political correctness is not my goal. If you are easily offended, this is probably not the space for you because I work in authenticity and I should be able to tell my truth without it hurting your feelings. And so I like to put that out up front because some people have been in schools for so long and they are accustomed to the political correctness. And I need us to know that's not this. My purpose is real clear today. I want you to have super clarity around what it is you want to do, what you need to do, and how to do it. So that involves giving you strategy, and that's what I'm going to provide for you. In addition, I'm also going to get, hopefully, instill hope because a lot of times we don't know what we don't know. We think that it's one thing when it's not. And so I'm going to share with you experiences and ways to do the thing that you are looking to do. And that should give you hope that this is possible. And then you need a plan. Like even in scaling, you need to have a plan. Just sitting back, hoping and praying, because some people think that praying is a strategy. It is part of a strategy, but it is not the full strategy. And so I'm going to give you actual action steps that you can take to put your plan in motion. And that's my purpose today, because when I was doing this work, there were not people telling me, do this, think about this. This is the time you should be thinking about that. Nobody was telling me that. I had to learn everything the hard way. And I don't want you all to have to learn everything the hard way. And so I wanted to give you all some things that you can use. All right. So And I'm going to hope and pray that the screens are going okay, because again, new platform and I can't see the full interaction. So if anything's going wrong on the screen, you got to leave me a message in the chat, because I can't see the chat this week. So the reason why, okay, thank you, Sidra, thank you. And if anybody just signed on, be sure to download the workbook. There's a workbook that goes along with it so you can keep up. And we all know, we're educators, that when you're able to write and engage, you are able to maintain the learning at a greater rate. So the reason why this is so important to me, let me make sure that you all understand why I do this, why I would take my Saturday morning and dedicate almost 2 hours to you all. This is like super important to me. Like, I'm not even playing with you. Like, I am in this industry. I'm going into year 7 of my business. And when I first got started, there was not a lot of faith from the people that are around me, or even business owners in general, because we know that most small businesses fail within the first 5 years. And so what I found particularly interesting was that there were a lot of women who had businesses. And as you can see, women own 51% of all businesses in the United States. We're the majority business owners. And even if you look at what's on this call, we're all mainly women. We get a few men, but as you know, in education, it's mainly women. But we only bring in about 4% of the revenue. So think about that. We own more than 50% of the businesses in the United States of America, but we only bring in 4% of the revenue. So that tells you something is wrong with this dynamic. Something is going wrong. What is it that us women are not doing that is creating this issue that we only bring in 4% of the money that is generated through businesses in the United States? And so I think that when I began to get into this business world, because once you become a business owner, you are now a business owner. You're in a different part of society. And you begin to talk to people, and some things began to stick out to me. One of the things that I was also frustrating to me was 13% of men earn 100K or more per year and above, but only 6% of women earn that. And I know that to be true. Now, I know that we see a lot of social media stuff. We just had this conversation the other day. We see a lot of social media stuff, and this how information is shared. And for some reason, social media has made us think that everybody's out here making 6 figures. It's a lie, y'all. It's not true. It's not true. I was talking to a very intelligent business owner the other day, and she told me that all of her clients make 6 figures. And I was like, really? What is your industry? Now, if she had said that they're in tech, or they all work for Google or something like that, and then she was like, oh, they work all over. And we got to talking about their jobs. Some jobs, you already know, are likely not making 6 figures. And then when we got to the end of the discussion, she had to take that back, and she was like, oh, in reality, I guess I just feel like they make 6 figures and they really don't, because she had regular people. She had clients that were bus drivers, just regular people, secretaries, office staff, just, regular middle income people. So then she even picked up the phone and called a few of them, and um, she said, hey, let me ask you a question. I'm doing some research here. Can you tell me what income range you're in? You don't have to tell me the exact amount, but just tell me the range. Is it 50 to 60, 70 to 80, 90 to 100, over 100,000? The lady sent back, she made $45,000 a year. She picked up the phone again, text her, the next person. The lady sent back that she's in the mid 50s. She texted the next person. The lady sent back she's in the mid 40s. This is someone who thought that her clients all made 6 figures. And the reality is only 20% of all US citizens make 6 figures. Only 20%. 80% are middle class, or what's considered, middle class. And so there is this misunderstanding because of social media, because of all these things. A lot of people think that all principals make six figures. All principals do not make six figures. I need us to understand that just because you are a school leader, it does not mean that you make six figures. Now, when you look at the number of schools across the United States, and maybe in your district, they make six figures, but it's not the norm. And it's especially not the norm at the elementary level as well. So I want to make sure that we understand that 13% of men earn 100K per year and above, but only 6% of women. And we got to ask ourselves, why is that? Because we know that women are extremely resourceful. We know that they are creative. We know that they follow through. We have all of these great attributes. And so we got to think about that. Some of that is not our issue, because men make more on the dollar than women. But that's not what I'm talking about. And we'll get to that in just a minute. This is the point that I really want you all to think about. So women are 80% more likely to be impoverished than men. And you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, I work, I got a pension, I don't have to worry about this. This is not my problem. And I was of that mindset too. And what happened was, as the building principal, I was I had 55 staff members under me in one building and 125 who I support in another building. And so as a part of that work, you are recruiting and doing subs, bringing subs in and all of this, information. And so I was meeting with this lady who had been an employee for 40 years. She had been a teacher for 40 years. And first of all, I don't know why she worked for 40 years. That was the heart-wrenching thing for me. But the point is, she was back to be a sub. And I was like, oh my goodness, you're back? You're going to sub for us? And she was great teacher. Had been doing it for 40 years. So you can imagine she was amazing. But the reason why she was back to sub is because she couldn't make it work off her pension. So she needed some more money to come in. Her insurance was free and covered, so it wasn't the insurance cost. The problem was she had a full house note she needed to pay. She had a full car note she needed to pay, and she had all of her regular bills. Here's the thing that we don't realize, or that we don't take into consideration. If you can't make it work off the income that you are making right now as a teacher, an educator, you're not getting that full pension when you retire. You're only getting about 40% of that pension when you retire. So if you can't make it work off of 100%, what makes us think we're going to be able to make it work off 40%? And so the reason why women are 80% more likely to be impoverished than men in retirement is because men die before women. You can look at the data. Those of us who are married, I hate to be the one to blow it, to break it to you. Now, this doesn't mean 100% of the time. Of course, we're talking about data and statistics. But statistically speaking, men die before women. And so the women are left alone to manage the household. And so, and for some reason, we think that the men don't die until they're like 80 or 90 years old. It's not the truth. Many of these men, these husbands, are dying in their 50s and 60s. Both of the people are still working. And many times there is not this big insurance plan that's going to leave them $500,000 to make it work. And so women have some particular issues that they have to deal with that men don't. We live longer, which means that we're going to need to care for ourselves longer. We don't make as much. We don't save as much. We don't invest as much. We don't take as many risks as men. And there's a reason why these numbers look like that. And I realized that I was doing the very things that keep us in these stats. And so I had to own the behaviors that I was participating in and displaying and say, I don't want to be that person. To be quite honest, I said, I'm not going to be that person. I said, in my retirement, I want to still continue to travel. I want to do the things that I want to do. I want to hang out with my grandkids. I want to go to their soccer matches and their football games. I want to be able to go to Disney World. I'm not walking around Disney World. I'm going to find me a bench to sit on, because anybody who's been to Disney World, y'all know that's a big old place, okay? but I want to be able to take them to Disney World. I want to be able to do things and not be confined by the budget, but I also want to be able to turn my air on when I want to. I don't want to have to say I can't turn my heat on until November 1st because I'm scared that the bill is going to be too high. So there were some things that I really had to own. I had to own that I wasn't taking any risk. I was taking what the school system said I could have. And so I had to do some things differently. The first thing I had to do, anybody who was here last week, put in the chat if you were here last week. Did you come to the session last week? Last week we talked about how to fulfill the life of your dreams. Did anybody join us last week? And if you didn't join us last week, go back and watch the recording from last week. It's in the recording session of this. Yes, Sidra says she was here and it was fire. Tangina says she was here. Felicia says she was here. All right. Monica says she was here. Cool. So you're going to know what I'm talking about. And if you didn't, Terry said last week was amazing. Yes, Marissa says she watched the replay. Thank you, Marissa. If you didn't watch it, go back and watch the replay, and this will all connect for you because it does build one from the other. But I always make sure that if you didn't watch the previous week, you still can keep up with it this week. So don't worry, we're not going to leave you behind. But last week I talked to you about how to know your number. And when we talk about living our dream life, see, I'm not on here talking to you about being comfortable or just trying to make it work or robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's not what we're talking about here. We are talking about abundance. We are talking about living the life of your dreams. That's right. Dusty said it was great. So we're not playing small here, because what I can tell you is that I'm just like you. I'm a regular person. I went to school, got my degree, went and got that teaching job. They showed me what I was going to make for the next 20, 25 years. And I built my life around that. And I was content because I knew it wasn't going to get no better. You know, I got married. My husband had a little money. He was bringing in a little money. But then, you know, we gotta be real as women. Like, stuff happens. And so when I was thinking about, you know, as my job was getting a little, you know, I just wasn't fulfilled. I couldn't grow. I felt like I was at the top. I was doing a lot. I didn't have a lot of time. There was so much going on. I felt exhausted. I was pulled from thing to thing. And I kept performing for the school, but I wasn't getting any payout. I didn't feel like I was getting a reward. Here I am, you know, superintendent up here receiving rewards off the work that I've done. And that's the way it works. I understand that. But I was like, I don't get paid no extra. I'm spending all this time. And yeah, it feels good to get a pat on the back, but my kids don't get to see me. Yeah, it feels good for everybody to talk about how good Dr. D is. But guess what? I don't get to spend any time with my husband. It feels good for people to say she good at her job. But guess what? I'm over here robbing Peter to pay Paul, telling my son, you got to wait till next pay period for me to get you a pair of shoes, but your shoes hurt, your feet hurt in your shoes this week. And I had to say to myself, this ain't what the Lord intended for me. I don't know about y'all, but I don't believe that that's what was intended for me. And I don't think that that's what was intended for any of us. And nowhere did it say that you got to struggle and not have desires and not dream big and not want big. That's something that we were taught in society. And so I believe that I became so addicted to the struggle that I just accepted the struggle as part of life. And I wonder how many of you all have accepted struggle as a part of your life. Some of us are so committed to the struggle, we will fight to struggle. When somebody tells you there are other ways to do this, it's an easier way, we will fight for the struggle. And I found myself doing that. That's why I come here and do this work, because I know that as smart as I am, as brilliant as I am, as respected as I am, as many people that love me, nobody loved me enough to tell me it's a different way. You can do this a little bit different. And so you got to know your number. I didn't even want to look at a number because I couldn't even pay the number I had. But what I didn't realize was that I couldn't move to the next number if I didn't know what it was. So if you remember your number from last week, put it in the chat. What do you need to make per month to be to live the life of your dreams, not to be comfortable. What is the amount you need to make? What is your number? What is your number? Put it in the chat for me, because we should know this number. We worked on this last week. Cedra said 15,000. And we know my number was 15,000. Okay, Kara said 20,000. I like it, Kara. I like it. 20,000, 15,000. Monica says 35,000. And folks, we have to remember that it's dependent upon what area you live in. So we talked about the people who live in New York and New Jersey. Their numbers are going to be a little bit higher than our numbers. I live in the Midwest, and baby, let me tell you, my 15K have me living like I'm Michael Jordan or somebody. Do you hear me? So certain areas have lower cost of living, especially when you're like in Mississippi, New Orleans. 10,000 a month will really make them be a superstar. Yes, somebody said 20K. She lives in the DMV area. 15. Yes. Somebody said 45. Tyler said 25. Absolutely. And you can't be scared of the number. I think I was scared of the number at first. I was scared of the number. And so I went back and I was trying to take stuff off. And even when I looked at the house that I really wanted, yes, Kelly said 75. When I looked at the house that I really wanted, I was like, okay, am I settling? Am I playing small? And at first I tried to take money off. I was like, you don't need a house that costs that much. You don't need a house that big. You know, I was trying to bring it down because I felt like the number was too big. She said, I missed last week, but I'll watch the replay. But she already knows 15K. All right, Stephanie says 15K. So you got to know your number. But here's the reality. Once I learned my number, I saw like I wasn't real far off from it. And I was like, wait a minute. Had I known this number before now, I would have done things a little bit differently. And so that's why it's so important for you to know your number so that you know where you're going and what you need, because you need the vision, and the number helps you to have that vision. Like my house that I'm moving into, the car that I want to drive, you know, the entertainment and the what I want to do for my health and education, professional development, all of those things are included in my number. So that gives me my vision for my dream life. And then I set some goals. Part of my goals was I got to figure out how to make this, how to make this work. Well, I need to start a business. And then the time, where am I getting the time from? Because many of us are in school systems giving them 8 to 12 hours a day. And then you have your support. So you got to have a support system to do this. When I talk to people who are highly, highly successful, they have a support system in place. And we as educators, we've been so accustomed to doing it by ourselves. We've been so accustomed to being the one that everyone goes to that we don't know how to ask for help. And we oftentimes don't know how to receive help. And so we got to work to set that support system up and be willing to accept the support from the support system. And then money, you know, like a lot of us want to get everything done for free. It does not work like that. It truly does not work like that. And so we have to come to the understanding. Oh, I'm trying to see. Did I do the recording? Yes, I did. Okay, cool. I had to check to make sure I was doing the recording. So we want to do things for free. In the school system, they let you do it for free because they know they're not paying you what you're worth and the value that you bring. And so they give you professional development for free. But one of the things that I had to realize is that if I wanted to jump the line, if I wanted to not start from the bottom, I was going to have to pay to play. And it is a pay to play society. So the thing that we have to do is plan our time. So we're talking about scaling our business, but before we can understand how to scale our business, we got to plan our time, because we are using our time in a way that's not going to help us to get to where we're at. Because if you can crave it, you can create it, period. If you have a desire for it, you can have it, you can create it. But we stop allowing ourselves to dream. We stop having desires. We don't create wants for ourselves because we don't want to seem ungrateful. We don't want to seem entitled. We don't want people to think that we're doing too much. And all of these things that have nothing to do with nothing. All of that is based off what other people are going to think about you. And that means that you got some self-work to do, because you should be concerned only about you. And so as you move forward, just remember, if you can crave it, you can create it, period. And that's all you need to keep telling yourself. The three things that I need you to understand is that you are ready already. Like, you are already ready. You don't need to go get any additional degrees. You don't need any additional certifications. You don't need any, you're already ready. You have what you need. You have the knowledge, the know-how, and the expertise that you need. But you do need to trust the process. There are some of us who want to skip steps, not do it the way that folks tell you to do it or suggest for you, and make up stuff. Trust the process. And then as soon as things get hard, we want to turn back and retreat and go back to what we're comfortable with. No, trust the process. Hard just means that diamonds are in the process of being made. And then you need to commit. So you need to know you're already ready. You need to trust the process, and you need to commit. When you make a commitment, you give yourself the understanding that we're not quitting. We're going through this. We're going to follow this to the end, and we're not going to give up. You need to be relentless about this. And so once you do that, you'll see that all of the obstacles will quickly move out of your way. So then you got to ask yourself, what needs to happen in order for me to make 15K this month and every month? This is what I had to ask myself, because my dream life includes a budget of $15,893. So with my 15,000, I need to bring this in every month. And that means that I can live the life that I desire, everything that I desire at that time. That's my house, my car, my entertainment, my groceries, my spending money, my shopping money, my travel money. Everything is included in that $15,000 a month, which is not a lot of money when you look at it from perspective, because that's only $189,000 a year. And so that's the other myth that I wanted to make sure that I work to dispel with you all today. You know, you hear all these people talking about, I'm gonna make a meal, I'm gonna make my first meal, and all of this. All these people ain't running around here as millionaires, people. And you don't need $1 million to live a good life. That's what I need us to know. You don't need $800,000 to make a good life, to have a good life. You can make that amount. I'm not saying don't dream big, but I'm telling you, don't discourage yourself with those big numbers because you think that you need to make $1.3 million this year. You need to make 2.9. It's just not true. When I make $190,000 in a year, I am living a fabulous life. Do you hear me? I'm traveling when I want to. I can donate to charities. I can give to philanthropy. My bills are on auto pay. I can go to the grocery store. I ain't got to worry about if the card gonna clear. I'm telling you, you don't have to fool yourself into thinking that you got to make $500,000. You don't. Whatever is gonna work for you is gonna work for you. But I'm telling you, $15,000 a month allows me to live in a house that's $650,000. It allows me to do all of my entertainment, go to my Dave Chappelle shows, go to the movies when I want to, whatever it is that I want to do, I can do it off $15,000 a month. But I had to ask myself, okay, so how am I bringing leads into my business? And how many leads do I need to bring in each month? And what is my conversion rate? See, it's all about the numbers. And when we can understand that it's just simple math, it's not a magic show. It's simple math. And when you understand the math, then you know what actions you need to take, and then you need to take the actions. So then I said, what is my conversion rate? Then I said, how many clients do I need to enroll? How many packages do I need to sell? How many products do I need to get into these schools? And how much time will this take? So I asked myself those questions, and then I was able to figure out what I needed to do to bring in my $15,000 a month. And that's the same thing that I would recommend to you. So just make it simple. I need to make $833 a month, which is $189,996 per year. So roughly $190,000 a year. In order for me to live the life of my dreams, my rich life means if I'm making $190,000 a year, and I'm spending $15,833 per month in my household, I'm having all of the things that I want. This is what all of my bills paid. This is what my savings. This is money that I'm investing. This is preparing me for my retirement. This is me taking the trips that I want. This is me having a chef. This is me having a house cleaner. This is me having all the things that I desire, a travel budget of $15,833 a month. And so you need to know your number. Just make it simple for yourself. Understand the current reality. You can't move forward until you understand your current reality and the current reality that we are in. Now, this is the hard part, because I know you're saying, I thought we was here to talk about scaling your business. That's exactly what we're going to talk about, because you need this in order to scale your business. And then we're going to get into these steps, but I need us to understand this portion is why we continue to own more than 50% of the businesses, but only make 4% of the income right here. Women spend 37% more of their time on household chores than men, even in households where both partners work full time. Do we understand this? Now, you might be saying, Dr. D, well, what are you saying? Okay, let me be clear. Back in the day, and many of us live off these principles and beliefs of the traditional family. The husband went to work and the wife stayed at home, and the wife took care of all of the household duties. And the husband went and paid the bills and came home, and everything was taken care of for him. The wife was at home. We typically had one car then, if a car at all. And then things changed. That was in the 60s and 70s, and 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. For us, typically the 60s and the 70s for our parents. And then our parents taught us that. But guess what? Our parents grew up and did this in the 60s and 70s, but they taught us this in the 80s and 90s. They taught us what they experienced from the 60s and 70s in the 80s and 90s. And now here we are in 2023, still trying to do what our parents taught us, but the only difference is we out here changing the world. We out here changing the world. We're going to work just like our husbands. We're going to work just like our husbands. Some of us running buildings, running districts, got people that report to us. We got kids in the classroom. We got 30, 40 kids. We got to take care of grade papers, do all that. A lot of our parents didn't have to do that, folks. A lot of our parents didn't do that. Some of our parents did, but it was a lot of our parents who don't understand the life that we live, but we're going to create our life off of the belief system that they instilled in us. That worked for that time period. What I'm telling you is that for 2023, we got to decide to opt out of some things. Am I saying tell your husband he needs to get up and get to work? That is not what I'm telling you. Don't you go messing with that man. Now, lead it, them spouses alone here. But what I'm telling you is that we bring a lot of this on ourselves. We bring a lot of this on ourselves. We got to have a clean house, because God forbid somebody come to our house and see our house not clean, and they going to talk about me, and I'm going to clean this house even if I don't do nothing else. We got to, I'm telling you, I was the lady who cooked a home cooked meal every single day with dessert and a drink. We made fresh tea and fresh lemonade with fresh squeezed lemons, because that's what my mama did for me. Every day, my mama cooked breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. And so I grew up and I thought that's what I was supposed to do for my husband and for my children. But while my husband was in there sitting on the couch watching TV, I was racing home from work, trying to get dinner prepped, trying to get all of this done. It took me 2 hours each evening to cook dinner. And then you sit down and you eat dinner. And then, you still got to check email and do all these other things. And so I was exhausted. Washing 5 loads of clothes every day, doing soccer practice. We had soccer practice on Wednesday night for 10 years. Do y'all hear me? For 10 years, I had soccer practice on Wednesday night. And I got 3 boys. And so all 3 boys played every sport: baseball, football, soccer, and basketball. So we don't get a season off. Right now, I got a son who right now is prepping for summer baseball. We still in baseball right now. But luckily for me, they are 16 and 17 years old, and one is graduating from high school next week. And right now, at this very moment, he is at a baseball game for the division finals. right now. So my husband had to drop him off. So why do I say this? I'm telling you this because this is why we own 51% of the businesses, but we only bring in 4% of the income, because we spend our time 7 hours a week cleaning the house. Is anybody, does this resonate with anybody, or is it just me? Am I the only one who do this? Yeah, what y'all do when y'all come home? Are y'all cleaning houses and doing laundry and preparing meals and on social media and spending 8.5 hours at work and working to get 8 hours of sleep? Does this sound realistic to y'all, or y'all living some different type of life? Because I couldn't figure out how to make it work. I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy to me. Put it in the chat. Does this sound familiar? Give me a notice in the chat. How are we spending our time? Put it in the chat for me, because this is part of the reason why we're impoverished during retirement. This is part of the reason why our businesses cannot grow. And truly, this is why we are unable to scale our businesses. And I know that ain't what y'all wanted to hear. I know that ain't what y'all wanted to hear, but it would be negligent of me to give you these ways to scale your business and not give you the strategies to make it work. That would be negligent of me, because you cannot have it all at the same time. And when we own that, we can deal with it. Miriam said, sounds realistic to her. Right. So, and I don't know, I just know that I had kids, I had a husband, I had this job, I had my mom who was telling me, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'm thinking to myself, you ain't lived the life that I live. And I didn't mean it in any disrespectful manner. I'm just telling y'all, my mama still slapped me in my mouth when she was alive. So I would never say that to her. But I was thinking to myself, my mom stopped working after she had me. I'm the youngest, because taking care of 5 girls in daycare would be more expensive than than staying at the job. So she came out of the workforce to take care of us, which is why we got 3 meals a day. She cooked breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day of all my life. We never ate fast food, never. And so she was teaching us how to care for the household from her experience, but she also wasn't a classroom teacher. And then I became an assistant principal, an instructional coach, all of these things, a building leader, a college professor. She didn't have to do any of that. So she didn't know what it was like to have to go to work, drive in, stay at work for 8 hours, drive home. I'm already at 10 hours right there. Then come home, cook, clean, do laundry, help kids with homework, go to soccer practice, do this, do. She couldn't understand that. And it's a lot of us who have based our lives off of our parents, and they love us to death, but they can only give us what they have. And so some of us need to opt out. My mother did not agree to someone else coming in to clean your house. You know what they call that? You being lazy. You being lazy. And Verna, girl, you better say it. She said, and then don't have a child with disabilities as well. See what I'm saying? Because that's a whole nother layer of work that's included that you don't mind doing, but it still takes time out of your day. And then we have these beliefs in our heads that if I bring somebody in, they're going to call me lazy. If my house ain't clean, they're going to call me lazy. I will tell you, one of the things about women, we don't want to be called lazy. Look here, we do not want to be called lazy. You know what? I opt out, y'all, and I'm going to advise y'all to opt out too. If you ask me, what are you trying to do? I'm going to tell you, as little as possible. I want to do as little as possible. Y'all, we done worked hard all our lives. I don't know about y'all. I done worked hard all my life. In school, I worked hard. I needed to get them A's so that I can get into these schools so I can change my life. When I got the job, I said, let me work hard. And we high achievers, we competitive. Let me just be honest. I was going to be the best. Now, let me not even pretend. I was going to be the best. I was going to be at the top of the class. I was going to be one of the top teachers. I was going to perform, but for what? It didn't get us anywhere. It didn't get you to safety. It didn't let you escape racism. It didn't put you in a better, like, what did it get you? Because I thought that hard work was the answer, and it's not. Hard work is not the key to success. You need to learn to work smarter and not harder. And once I figured that out, we ain't gonna go into the story of how I figured that out. But then I said, oh, I opt out. I opt out of hard work. Does that mean that I don't do good work? I do amazing work. I do absolutely amazing work. I just don't make it hard on myself. So even now, when you look at this list of the way that women spend their time, I don't do this anymore. Yesterday, my son had a graduation parade. I was at the parade. The chef was at my house preparing meals for the whole week. On Tuesday, my cleaning lady will be here. She's going to clean my house better than I ever could in any version of my life. But while they're doing that, I'm doing things that are much more valuable. Some of you all are going to have to opt out, but we need the money to be able to opt out. And until we get the money, guess what? It is not going to hurt you for your house to be a little untidy for a day. We will not do the work that we need to do to get up and go clean up. Let's clean up tomorrow. Let's do these things that's going to bring in some more income today. And instead of, I got to make this gourmet meal for my kids every day, let's decide I'm going to make a gourmet meal 3 days out of the week instead of 7 days out of the week. These are things that I had to do before I was able to pay for the chef, pay for the cleaning lady, pay for groceries to be delivered. Some of these things y'all can do now. Some of these things you all can do now. Stop saying, I got to go into the grocery store because I need to touch my avocados and I need to rub my oranges to make sure they're right. No, there are some. Did you ever consider that the people who are doing the shopping, they may know more than you? They may know more than you. A man went and did my shopping for me the other day on Instacart. And when I say he got fruit and vegetables picked that was the best that I had seen, I sent him a message and I said, oh, you did a great job picking the fruits and vegetables. He said, I used to work on a farm, so I know the ones that I should pick. I sent him an extra tip because that was amazing. So we got to stop thinking that we're the only one that can do it. There are some conveniences that we can use to save us time so that we can focus on the things that are going to change our lives. You know what? I don't know if you want it to be an accolade for you, but on my deathbed, I don't need my kids saying, whoo, my mama sure did keep a clean house. And that's what we say about my mama. My mama kept a clean house. You will never step into my mama's house and there was a dust on the floor, a dot, or anywhere. My mama kept a clean house and was a good woman. You know what I'm saying? But I need you to say some other stuff about me on my deathbed. She made some impact. She impacted a lot of people's lives. The world is different without her here now. Man, this was an amazing woman right here. She went hard in life. Woo, Chanel lived the life of her dreams. I want my kids to be saying, my mama taught me all the things there is to know, and she showed me how to live my dream. Like, those are the things that I want to leave behind. I don't need you saying, ooh, she sure know how to keep a clean house. You can say, woo, she sure knew how to call that cleaning lady over there. And you still gonna say Chanel's house was clean all the time. Because my house is clean all the time because I got a cleaning lady that come cleans it. The food is good. It's organic. It's all of the things that I've always dreamed of, because the chef goes to the grocery store and prepares it for us. She shops at Whole Foods. She goes to this store called Dearburg. She goes to the farmer's market. I don't have time to do those things. I'm just telling you, time is the reason why we're unable to grow and scale our businesses the way we need to, because we are too busy doing things that are not going to move the needle in our lives. And one of them that we can definitely eliminate is social media. Social media, like, if we can be honest, how much time you spend scrolling on social media? And then the time we spend at work, we want to go in early. We want to stay late. We want to sit and kiki and kaka with our colleagues. How much time are we spending? The travel time that it takes to get to work, the travel time that it takes to get home. School is out at 3:10. You don't leave until 4 o'clock. You were supposed to have been gone at 3:30. Contractual day ended at 3:30. Why were you there until 4 o'clock? You should be out the door at 3:35 because they're not paying you extra. They didn't pay you for that part. Then you got to ask yourself, when we talk about living the life of your dreams, your happy life, do you get time to exercise daily? To do the exercise you want to do? Do you get time to watch TV? Do you get time for your children? Or notice I put to have children, because some people are putting off having children because of their job. Do you get time to volunteer? Do you get leisure time? Do you socialize? Do you participate in your religious activities? Do you have any sports or hobbies or recreational activities that you do consistently? This should be a part of your life, not something that you do as a reward or sometimes. This should be a part of your life. But we can't do these things because we're busy doing these things. So we can't do these things because we are way too busy doing these things. And if you notice in these things, there is no socialization, there is no exercise, there is no leisure time. Look at how that adds up. So we got to get our lives in balance so that we can have fun and joy and adventure and live the life that we truly want to live. And so this is what, on average, a work day for an employed person, 25 to 54, looks like. Take a look at it. Take a look at it. So we spend the majority of our time working and sleeping, working and sleeping, working and sleeping. Everybody gets the same amount of time, 24 hours in a day. The only thing that is different is how you choose to use it. You cannot manage time. Everybody gets the same amount of time. You can only manage yourself. And so you have to determine, did I lose sleep while I was building this business? Absolutely. Let me ask you something. Did you lose sleep while you were getting those degrees? How many times did you stay up late studying for tests? Some of y'all writing dissertations now, losing sleep right now. Did you lose sleep while you were getting those degrees? And so we will put time and energy into a degree that didn't even pay us a rate of return that we expected, but we won't put time and energy into the thing that will change your life. So the question becomes, did you lose sleep when you were getting your degrees? Put it in the chat for me. Did you lose sleep while you were getting your degrees? Any one of them, bachelor's, master's, doctoral, for those who have a terminal degree. Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Did you lose sleep? Absolutely. She lost a lot of sleep. Yes, my master's. Yes, yes. Did all-nighters to cram. Yes, Monica says yes. So tell me this, why is it that now when it comes to this new dream of building your business, you will procrastinate, you will put it on the back burner, you will say, I'm gonna do it later. You will say, but you didn't do that when you were in school. You didn't do that. If you went to the party, when you woke up, when you got back the next day, you made up for that time the next day at the library. Dusty says she know all about them all-nighters. And Courtney says she's doing that right now. You got to have that same relentlessness about building your business. I'm not going to sit here and pretend with you. But the difference between building a business, you get to control how much income comes in and what type of life you get to live. With them degrees, the only thing you get to control is what industry you're going in, and they get to tell you how much money you can make and what's the max you can make and what day you're going to get paid on. You don't have any control over your life. You just get to control how you spend your time and your money. She said, I'm doing both now, and she'll be enjoying it soon. So what I want you to know is where intention goes, disruption follows. When you decide that I'm going to do this thing, it is a law, it is principle that where intention goes, disruption follows. So some type of catastrophe, something is going to happen. I would recommend to you all to get The Big Leap, the book, The Big Leap by, what is his name? Gay Hendricks. And that will explain this whole principle. This is a universal law. This is not just what Dr. D telling you. This is a universal law where intention goes, disruption follows. If you already know, there are going to be some things that are going to try to knock me off my game, but I am not going to let it knock me off my game. And you will prepare yourself better. A lot of y'all think about, I can tell you right now, when I got ready to do my master's capstone, I got deathly ill. It was time for me to do my capstone. I got deathly ill. Don't y'all know that I got out of that hospital and they had to wheel me into the school, into the university in a wheelchair. with barely enough energy to speak, to do my capstone, because other than that, I was going to fail the course. We will do that for a degree, but we won't do that in order to change our lives. When it came time to do my dissertation, all types of stuff happened. It was crazy. It was crazy. And so where intention goes, disruption follows. So just understand that. I want us to know this and write it down. And just keep note of that. Wherever you put your intention and your attention, some disruption is going to come, because it's making you determine what's really important. But the thing that sets apart those who have highly successful businesses or anything in life is 240 minutes sets the income levels apart. If you want to know why only 20% of the people make over the six figures, it's 240 minutes. Each day is 240 minutes, people. 240 minutes. Gay Hendricks, Gay, G-A-Y Hendricks, is called The Big Leap. 240 minutes sets the income levels apart. So just think to yourself, 240 minutes is what sets you apart from the next income level that you desire to be in. We're talking about 4 hours a day. We're talking about 4 hours a day. What you choose to do in those 4 hours per day. Can you just take a minute and think about, what are you doing in your 4 hours a day? This is what sets the highly successful apart from the regular successful. So if you want the 15,000, the 25,000, the 35,000 a month, folks, those are highly successful people who make that type of money. You got to redistribute your 240 minutes a day. You must redistribute your 240 minutes a day, which is 4 hours a day. And sometimes, just like when I was in my doctoral program, I had to get up at 5 a.m. and I was working on my doctoral program from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. every morning, because I didn't have time. I had all the sports in the evenings. I had all those other things. So I had to do 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning. And then once I got my boys set up at nighttime, it would be 10, 11 o'clock. I try to get an hour and a half in. We'll do this for our degrees, but we won't do this for ourselves, for our dream, for the thing that we want to do, the thing that we know will change our lives. So I really want you to think about this 240 minutes. And when you're sitting there and you're scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, you need to say to yourself, how many of these minutes am I going to use that could be working in my favor? When somebody comes and asks you to go to a baby shower and you don't really even know that person, you need to say to yourself, how is this helping me change my income level? When you are sitting on the phone with your good girlfriend that you talk to every single day, and y'all sitting there talking about stuff that ain't changing your life, you need to say to yourself, let me go and start working on my 240 minutes today. When you're sitting there watching Netflix and you're watching this series, I always want you to remember, those people are getting paid for you to watch them, and you are not getting paid for watching them. They already got their checks. And so am I saying that you can't do any of those things? That's not what I'm saying at all. I get to watch all of my shows, but I don't get to watch them today. So just like Queen Charlotte, that was the show, y'all. Y'all know I love me some Shonda Rhimes. I've watched all 6 of the episodes, and I got to binge watch them. But guess what? Not before my work was done. And as a matter of fact, I got to watch them on a flight from St. Louis to San Diego. So the flight was 4 hours, and I watched Queen Charlotte for those 4. And on my way back, I watched the other 2 episodes. So it's just redistributing your time instead of, sleeping on the plane or whatever. I said, I want to watch the show. Let me watch my show. So it's about redistributing your time. But if you know that 240 minutes sets income levels apart, you need to determine what's happening in your 240 minutes. Are you even dedicating 240 minutes to the work, to your dream, to the life that you desire? And so keep note of that. So we're going to plan our time. You got to plan your time so you can take back your time. Get out of the grocery store. That grocery store trip takes you an hour and a half. Sis, you can order that stuff on Instacart and go do the work in your business. Stop doing stuff that's not going to yield you success. You're not getting a pat on your back for going to the grocery store. You're going to get the pat on the back for keeping groceries in the house. See, we got to change our mindset. And the only way people know that you used Instacart was that you told them. All you got to say is, yep, I'm putting these groceries up. You don't have to say, I just got my groceries delivered to the house. I don't go around telling folks, yep, the cleaning lady came and cleaned my house. They come to my house, they say, oh my God, your house smells so good. I say, thank you. That's what I say. I say, thank you. That's it. And so I want us to understand, like, if we change our mindset, we can have the things that we want, but you got to take back your time with the games. I had to say, I thought it was the most noble thing that we take our kids to every game, to every practice. No, I had to decide it's okay for you to catch a ride with somebody else. It does not make me less of a parent. It does not make me love my kids less. And then me and my husband had to decide our kids don't need two parents at every game. So I'm going to stay at home sometimes and he can stay at home. And now we're at the point, he loves sports. You gone to the game. My kids get 4 games per season. I'm at 4 games per season, 4. And keep in mind, we play all year. So all in total, I go to about 20, 25 games a year. But we're in play all season. Right now, my husband is at districts with my son. If they lose today, the game is over. If they don't lose today, I'll be at the next game. But I'm here to tell you, you're going to have to opt out of some things. And a lot of the things that we need to opt out of, we won't do it because we're afraid of what people are going to say, or we have some type of belief in our head that is trapped in time that's keeping us back, and it no longer serves us. So I want to ask you, how big are you truly thinking? Like, are you really believing that you can have what it is you want? Do you really believe that you can really scale your business? Do you believe that scaling is for you? Do you believe that you can have more than just a solopreneurship? Do you believe that you can have employees that work for you? Do you believe that you can bring in thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars into your business every month? Do you even believe that you can make $100,000 in a day? You can make $1 million in a day. You can make $500,000 in a day. It don't take a month. It don't take a year. It don't take 6 months. It's, do you believe that you can do that? That's right. Kelly said, and I'm going to. All right. Kelly is my type of person. That's what I'm talking about. But you got to believe it. Some of us won't even believe it first. So how big are you truly thinking? And so I want to ask you, do you know the difference between growth and scaling? Put your definition in the chat. What's the difference between growth and scaling? And all of this is in your workbook. So if you don't have your workbook, make sure that you download your workbook. The link is in the chat. Make sure that you download the workbook. Let's talk about what's the difference between growth and scaling, because I think that this is one of the issues that we as women sometimes have, because we'll say, I'm not business savvy. I don't know how to do all that business stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to make good money and pay my bills. No, we got a plan for the long term. So growth is simply an increase in revenue, but you're also increasing the work output. So you can have growth in your business. Right. Courtney says growth is to expand your customer base, potentially for income. Absolutely. So when we talk about growth, that is you doing more to get more. You see what I'm saying? And we need to all be growing. You are doing more to get more. Plain and simple. You're doing more. You're bringing in more customers. You're bringing in more revenue. Your business is growing. You can't do that by yourself. You can do that by yourself. And so even with me, I had to grow my business first in order to even get to the point of scaling. You're not ready to scale until you've cleared at least 100,000. Other than that, you're still just growing. You're figuring things out. So 0 to 100,000, you're exploring. You're launching. That's why that's what it's called, a launch. Until you make it to 6 figures, you're still in the launch phase. LAUNCH. You're launching your business. There's still you're growing it. You're adding things to it. You're taking things away. You're figuring stuff out. You're figuring out what your signature product is. You're figuring out what systems you need to use and all of this stuff. Yes. So scaling, Courtney says, is putting practices in place to expand the business so that you are not always doing the work. So you are continuing to grow the business, but the growth is not dependent upon you. So when we talk about growth and scaling, you got to know the difference between the two, because some people will think that they're scaling just because they hired a team member. That's not the end all be all. And that's not even necessarily scaling, that's just growing in some instances, and you're still doing the work. Yes, Courtney says you have SOPs in place to have others in place to carry out the work without you having to be there. That is the difference between just bringing in somebody to work and you still working, and actually adding a team member as a way to scale, because you have your SOPs in place, standard operating procedures. For those who don't know, standard operating procedures is a part of scaling. So making sure that we understand the difference between growth and scaling. Growth is increasing revenue. Scale is increasing revenue without incurring significant costs. So growth, you're just increasing revenue. You can do that by yourself. You can do that with a couple of team members. You're increasing money, but you're increasing work. You're bringing in more customers. You're doing more work. Scale is I'm increasing my revenue, but I'm not incurring significant costs. So I'm bringing in more revenue, but I'm not spending a whole lot of money, paying a whole bunch of team members, paying for all this other stuff. You're increasing without incurring significant costs. So let's go. A couple of examples. Kara Golden. I don't know if you all know Kara, and I thought of Kara, my Kara. Kara is in my mastermind. I thought of my Kara, and I actually went to see her speak live. And I was like, oh, I know Kara, and you all are very similar. Kara, you're on the right path. Look, she reminded me of you. You all have some of the very same characteristics, and she is amazing. This is the lady who created Hint Water. And we all know that businesses, the ones that survive are the ones that are created out of necessities. So she's a pretty healthy lady. Look at her. This has been her size. So she didn't just lose weight or anything. But when she went to the doctor, they told her that she was pre-diabetic. And she was pre-diabetic because she was drinking, well, of course, her diet wasn't good, but she was also drinking a lot of Coke products. Like, she loved her Coca-Cola. And so she actually drank more Coke than she did water. And the doctor was letting her know, you're extremely close to being diabetic, boo, boo, boo. She went because she was having problems. And that's how they found out it was pre-diabetes that was creating the problems. And so they told her she needed to get her insulin down. She needed to do this and that. And she needed to start drinking more water. And so she was drinking the water, trying to be a good steward of her body, the vessel that she's been given. And she got tired of drinking water, y'all. She was like, this is the worst thing ever in the world. And this is a story that she told us in person. She came and talked to us in person. And so she said she was tired of drinking water, but she knew she needed to drink the water in order to not have to take the pills or to take the shot that the doctor was going to make her take for the rest of her life. And so she got the idea that if she could just have a little bit of sweetness, just a little bit of flavor to the water, that would make it better. She got up in the kitchen. She did a squeeze of orange in there. It was amazing. She did some other stuff, trying out some different flavors. It was good. She was drinking the water, and she was like, if I could just find this in the store. She went to the store, couldn't find it. And when you look at vitamin water, if y'all read the back of the label, that is not true vitamin water. It got all types of ingredients in it that shouldn't be in your body. And so she was looking for a drink that she could find. She couldn't find one. She loved what she was making. And so she started making it for herself. She started making it for the PTA and for different events that she was going to. And then she decided that she was going to scale her business. She scaled by going to Whole Foods, working out a deal where she could take up a shelf of space in their business. So notice she didn't incur any additional costs. She went and she made herself more visible and put her drink on a shelf at Whole Foods, and it was gone by the end of the day. The manager came back, said, "Can you bring a few more?" She brought a few more, and that's how it began. And then she went from just having a few shelves to needing a whole distribution company to being able to produce. And then she said, "How about if we just mail it straight to their homes?" So a lot of you all may know that you can order hint water to your house. And so it was a different model that she took up. But I'm just sharing with you how normal people, if you talk to this lady, she's normal. Like, I kid you not, when I talked to her, I said to her, I said, I got it, because this was just a couple of weeks ago. I said, it's a lady who I work with. Her name is Kara. You all remind me of each other. And she's an amazing lady. And so, you know, when you hear her story, she's a regular person. She's a regular person who had a problem, needed to solve her problem, put it out there, was making good, doing good with the money she was making, and decided that she wanted to play bigger. And when she went to play bigger, she said, "What is it going to hurt? I'm going to Whole Foods. I shop here every day. I love the store, and it's in alignment with my company brand." Think about Magic Johnson, his movie theaters. How was he able to scale that? I'm giving you scaling methods in advance. How was he able to scale Magic Theaters? He started with one, and now he has 156 of them. Think about that. Think about the first thing we're going to talk about is team, because I know that that's the thing that most of us are thinking. We're thinking, I'm going to hire an employee, I'm going to get them to go to work for me, and I won't be at work, so I'm scaling. That is true. That is true to an extent. But now you also have to think about, you got to pay them money. And when you pay them money, so this is our first method, team. You scale through a team. Each of your employees should bring you 3 to 10 times what you pay them. Let me say that again. Each of your employees should make you 3 to 10 times what you pay them. Write that down. Because if you just out here hiring people and you just making $200, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. So team is the first way. The second way is through upsells and cross sales. So this is where we're copying down the methods to scale. I told y'all I was going to give you the real methods to scale. You see, I'm giving it to you. But I don't just give you information that you can't implement. Because trying to implement it, trying to clean the house and do all the things that you do in your regular life without eliminating some stuff, none of it is going to happen. So the second way is upsells and cross sales. So you have a PD, you sold the person a PD. Maybe you sold them one PD, or maybe you sold them a PD package. And it's your job to upsell that or cross sell it. That means, yeah, you bought this package, but you might also need some principal coaching. So how about we add 3 principal mentorship sessions on to make sure that we get you everything that you need? That's what an upsell is. A cross sell, you might sell them a package, and then you sell the same package for the same group, for a different group of teachers in the building. So that's one that I love. I'm already selling the leadership package to the leadership, the official leadership team. So I'm talking about the principal, the assistant principals, and maybe somebody from central office is coming to add in, and there's 6 people in this leadership coaching group. And then I sell that exact same package to that same leader for his department heads. He got 7 departments in the building. And so we need to pull all of those department heads and get them trained too. Same package. I just went across. You see what I'm saying? So is this making sense? First one is team. Second one is upsells and cross sales. You can upsell to a VIP day. You can upsell to one-to-one coaching. You can upsell to all types of stuff. So number 2 is upsells, cross sales. Number 3, add a product or service. This is how we're scaling our businesses. You're going to add a product or service. Now, I am going to caution you here. I know some of y'all thinking, well, I'm just going to have a whole bunch of products. I'm going to keep adding products. That's going to hurt you. That's going to hurt you. You need to add this is the test that you need to ask yourself before you add a product or service. Thank you, Sidra. Thank you so much. You are so great. I am so grateful for you. For folks who just joined, make sure you get your workbook. Make sure you download the link for the workbook. So add a product or service. This is the thing that I'm going to warn you about, and this is the thing that I want you to ask yourself as a test to whether or not you should add this product or service. Before you add any product or service, you need to ask yourself, can I make at least $100,000 off this product in this year? You need to ask yourself that, because we're not just adding $7 on. You're not doing all this work for $7, people. We're not doing all this work for $14 that I'm only going to sell 10 times. Well, that $140 didn't even help you. So that's the question that you need to ask yourself. I don't know if y'all understand the goal that I'm giving y'all. I don't know if we are understanding the goal that I am giving you. So instead of just adding little products because it was easy to make and somebody asked you for it one time, ask yourself, can I make at least $100,000 off this product? And if you can't, pass on it. Work with your signature product, okay? So add a product or a service. Add a product or a service. If you don't already have some of the things like job embedded coaching, you might do a one-on-one consultation. You might do a VIP day. You might do whatever it is. That's an added service, but only added if it has the potential to make $100,000. And that's going to help you with your pricing, because a VIP day can't be $200. You're your most valuable asset, so it should be the most expensive to work with you. If they want to work with you, they got to dig deep into their pockets, because you are the expert and they want your time one-to-one. So VIP days can be a product or a service, but it cannot be for $199, $499. No, because they're getting all of you, your full brain, your undivided attention. You might do job embedded coaching, 1 day of job embedded coaching. Again, that's you going into that school, going into that classroom, observing, helping that teacher, modeling, doing whatever it is you do on your job embedded coaching days. So ask yourself, if it is priced at this price, how many do I have to sell to get to my $100,000? And that's how you determine if it's a product you need to add. All right, next one. Build a community. Build a community. See, some people want to show up and take over other people's communities because they haven't done the work to build their own. Build your own community, people. When you build your own community, guess what? You're scaling. What did I do? I built my own community. How did y'all get here? I built my own community. I started out not even on social media, 0 followers, nobody listening, and I just kept showing up every single day, putting out the call, telling people what I'm doing, asking people to share my information, talking about the work I do and how I want to help these women, and I built a community. I have an amazing community called the Educators Moving On Network. We affectionately refer to it as the EMON community, and we are a bunch of badasses. Do you hear me? We are a bunch of badasses who are out here breaking all of the rules, living the life of our dreams. Because when I tell you, freedom is an act of rebellion. If you think you're going to be free and not have to fight for it, you have lost your mind. Freedom is an act of rebellion. You got to be willing to fight, because ain't nobody giving you your freedom. Ain't nobody giving you your freedom. You got to fight for it. You got to take it. You got to demand it, and you got to work for it. Build you a community. That's what our community has done. We create freedom for ourselves, and then we bask in it, and we love our lives, and we help other people, and we make a great impact on society, and we go into these school systems and we disrupt the mediocrity that is existing in our school systems today, because we all know that schools will listen from the outside before they will to the people on the inside. So build you a community. Begin the work to build a community and stop thinking that somebody is going to hand it to you. The way to scale is to build a community. Next one, offer certification programs. You can offer certification programs. Now, you can't just go making stuff up, but you can offer certification programs. One of the programs that I'll be adding next year to my community, to my eMind group, is that we will be offering coaching certification. Oh, excuse me, I had to burp. I'm drinking a green juice, a kale tonic. So one of the problems that I found is that, and this is not that I found, y'all know this is true in the school system. Teacher will be in the classroom with today, and tomorrow she'll be the instructional coach. She ain't got no coaching skills. She don't know nothing about coaching. We got principals who don't know how to coach. We got superintendents who do not know how to coach. We got people who are in positions that need to know how to coach and do not know how to coach. There is strategy to coaching. Coaching is not telling people what to do. Coaching is making you think about your thinking and think about your actions, and you deciding what is the best action to take. But think about, what do those coaches do when they come into y'all classrooms? They tell you what you should be doing. They tell you what you should be thinking about. They tell you where these kids need to be moved to. They tell you all types of stuff. That is not coaching. That is directing and consulting. That's not coaching. And so one of the programs that I'll be adding is offering a coaching certification program to teach folks how to coach. And I do tons and tons of coaching. And so certification programs is a way to scale your business. A monthly subscription is another way to scale your business. Y'all ready for this? Monthly subscription. You know, one of my current clients, she has a monthly subscription. She has a program, and the people pay monthly to come. She does 2 presentations per month, 2. And they pay, I believe they pay $159 a month to be in her program. And she does 2 presentations, so 2 presentations a month, $159 per month. And on last time I talked to her, and it's been probably 3 months since I talked to her, she had about 23 people signed up. So she had 23 people signed up. Let's add it up, times $159 a month. So she's bringing in almost $4,000 a month to show up 2 times per month to do a presentation, to share some content knowledge with them. And she is an ESL teacher. She's an ESL teacher, and her audience are other ESL teachers. And so they pay $159. And I'm sure she has more people signed up now. But the point is, this is monthly recurring income for you. And it's the same thing that she was already doing. This is the T that you want to catch. It's the same thing she was already doing. She was doing the 2 presentations every month. She's been doing them for over a year now. It's just that she put them inside of a container and stopped doing them for free and started charging people for it. How about that? So as income, she has $4,000, $3,657 coming in every month. And that was 3 months ago. She probably has a few more people added on now. I want to make sure that we understand, you don't have to have all these big numbers. You ain't got to have 200-300 people. I want us to stop thinking that, because I know that was one of the things that I thought, how am I going to get all of these schools to get contracts with me? Y'all, I need you to know, when I got 6 schools under contract, I was living a dream. I was like, I don't need no more contracts. I'm good. If this just keep coming in, let me keep 6 contracts. The most my company has ever brought on is 12 schools in a year. Understand me, 12 schools in a year. And when I brought those 12 schools in a year on, folks, do y'all know we made over $400,000? Do we understand this? So get these numbers out of your head. Like, these big numbers, we scare ourselves, and I just want us to stop doing it. Next, license your signature product. Some of y'all got some great stuff going. It's good stuff. Schools need it. License your signature product. I know someone who has licensed her course. So the school can buy the license to her course. A lot of y'all do, a lot of y'all are participating in some of this right now. If you think about Discovery Education, when you sign in onto the Discovery Education, Ready IXL, all of those platforms, that's what they did. They licensed their product to you, to your school, and then the school gave you the login so that you can use it. That's all that is. License your signature product. So I know a person, one of my former clients, she has a kids leadership program. A kids leadership program. She licensed her product to the the sports league, so that every kid now has to go through that leadership program in order to get on the team. So she licensed her product to them, and they pay for the license, and then they can enroll all of the kids. So I hope that's making sense to you. Anybody getting any value from this? Anybody getting value? Let me know in the chat. Is this providing value? Are you thinking about ways that you can use this? What is a way that you right now know that you would be able to scale? Which one of these methods have I given you that will allow you to be able to scale? The next one is, what if I don't have a product that I think I can license? Well, you can buy a license to monetize. You can buy a license. Kara says, my mind is spinning. All right, Kara, yes. And Sidra says, yes, so easy to scale. Kelly says, yes, build my community. All right, let's make this happen. So here's one, buy a license to monetize. I've done this. So, and some of you are like, right now, when you think about buying a license to monetize, you might be like, oh, I don't know what that is. I don't know if I can do that. Let me tell you, some of us on here are leadership coaches. And so as a leadership coach, I give a leadership assessment, and I do that through the DISC assessment. So I bought the license, the DISC license, in order for me to be able to use their material. But then I charge the schools for every test that I give. So I pay $10 for the test, but I charge $150 for the test. So in order for them to take the test, that's a charge of $150. Well, guess what? I only pay 10. Ain't that a good return on your money? Terry says, Dr. D, you make scaling seem so doable. It is. And here's the key. You can't do it all in a day. So I'm in almost year number 7 in my business. So I had to take it step by step. And I will say that a lot, like, you can't try to scale too soon, or you're going to find yourself falling down the steps. But we got to be planning in advance. We got to know how to scale, what methods we're going to use, so that we know when it makes sense in our business. So I can't wait to give you this information when you're 5 years into your business. I need to give you this information when you're in year 1 and 2, so that you can know what you need to do during year 3 and 4. You see what I'm saying? So you can buy a license to monetize. So I have the DISC analysis certification and license, and then I can give the test to other people. But also, when I hire consultants for my own company, when I hire a consultant for my own company, they must be DISC certified. Well, if they are not DISC certified, I am going to get them DISC certified. They got to pay for that. So I charge them, because you need this certification in order to do this work. I got 3 contracts here for you to do, but you need this certification that you'll be able to use with or without me. So you're benefiting from it too. So it doesn't make sense for me to pay for you to get DISC certified. You do this one contract with me, make your money, go on about your business, and now you are a certified DISC person, and now you are monetizing the license that I paid for you for. No, you can pay for your own license, and so they can buy the license. They can get certified. So buy a license to monetize. I hope that's making sense to you. I hope that's making sense. The next one, have your own technology. Have your own technology. What do we mean? You know, you can have your own app now. You know, apps don't cost what they used to cost. And so you can create your own technology. At the Iman, at the February event, we were blessed by the presence of Miss Cherie, who talked to us about her cyber tech company. and she has her own technology. And so they pay her for her technology. She has a $90 million tech business. And y'all probably thinking, oh, she's been doing this for 10, 15 years. No, year one. And she just came out of corporate, had a great idea, and put the work in and was relentless. And no, she is not an IT person, but she understood what needed to happen. And so now she has her own tech space. As a matter of fact, she will be one of the speakers at the July event. And she's going to talk to you because her specialty, again, is leadership coaching and communication. And so she's going to talk about sales conversions, how to how to convert a lead, how to convert a sale in a sales conversation, because we tend to have a hard time with just converting the sale. You're in this conversation, but you don't know how to convert the sale. Like, you got to get the sale. And so she's going to come and talk to us about that and what our mind is doing and how she was able to get investors to invest in her tech company and give her millions upon millions of dollars to start her tech company. So she's going to come and talk to us about that. But you can have your own technology. You can have an app. You can have a course, a program, whatever it is that will work in alignment with your business. The next one, expand locations. Think about Magic Johnson. He started with one movie theater. He has 156 now. Think about Starbucks. They started with one in Seattle, Washington, and now they have, so many of them. Think about, y'all know it as Panera Bread, but do you know that it was St. Louis Bread Co.? It started here in St. Louis, Missouri. We don't have Panera Bread here. We have always had St. Louis Bread Co. And so I noticed when I went to other states, and I'd be like, do you have a bread co? And they look at you like you're crazy, because Panera Bread is St. Louis Bread Company. And they expanded locations, and now they are all over. And you all know them as Panera Bread, but they originated in St. Louis, Missouri as St. Louis Bread Co. So expand locations. So some of us need to just expand our locations. The next one, build a franchise model. A lot of us have stuff that we can franchise. My own consulting business, one of my options is to build a franchise model where when people want to be consultants or want to own their own company, instead of them working from the ground up, you come in with everything already done, because I've already done the work. It's already there. All I have to do is duplicate it. So you can build a franchise model and sell your franchise, just like Chick-fil-A, just like Starbucks. All they're doing is selling a franchise because they've already done the work. It's just replication. And then people pay for the franchise, and that's how you make the money. And they're just giving them what they need to do. Get the building, do this, do that, build a franchise model. Even for consultants, I have a consulting business. The name of my consulting business is Agile Designs and Services. And we are agile because we help you to make moves that matter. And that business is set up where we are a boutique consulting business, and we work to get to know your business or company inside and out and help you to get to your next level. We do not worry about the small stuff. We help you to make moves that truly matter in your business. And so if we wanted to do a franchise, we absolutely could. So don't think to yourself, oh, how would I do a franchise? You can. You absolutely can. Buy your competitor. You can buy your competitor. See, I want us to think big, and I want us to know all of the ways that we can scale. If we're not thinking big, you can't say to yourself, I will never be able to buy a competitor. First of all, you don't even know what it costs to buy your competitor. Second of all, you may be making enough money in 2 or 3 years where if you buy your competitor, guess what? You're buying their clients, you're buying their services, you're buying their products. This is why it's called scaling, because you're not doing more work. You're bringing in all of their competitors. Now you've decreased a competitor that you have, as well as increased your client base. So buy your competitor is an absolute option. And then this one I absolutely love, pop-up shops. Some of y'all need to be willing to take your show on the road. So pop-up shops is just where you can do it yourself or you can show up at other people's. But next year, I am seriously considering doing some pop-up shops. I did some 2 years ago. I absolutely loved it. Some of you all may have met me in Texas or in Florida or in New York. That's what you call pop-up shops. So I want us to stop thinking that these are just scaling things for other industries. This is for us. You make the list of where you're going to go. So like I would go to places that I love to visit. I love to travel. It's a value of mine. And so Texas, because I'm moving to Texas, I would definitely do like Houston. I would do like Dallas. I would maybe do Austin. You know, I love Atlanta, so I would do like Atlanta. I love North Carolina, so I do somewhere in North Carolina. And I would just set a schedule, put it out there. These are the dates that I'm going to be in these locations. This is the ticket price because we got to stop working for free, people. I'm going to tell you this, and I need you to remember it. Slavery is over. We no longer work for free. You got to stop working for free, okay? So it's a ticket price to get in because you are sharing valuable knowledge. Like today, I could have charged for this. I'm giving you real stuff that can change your life if you put it to work. And so we got to stop working for free. So you can do pop-up shops, pop up, do the work, you know, do whatever the thing is that you do. Maybe you're going to do a workshop. Maybe you're going to do hands-on. One of my clients, she was an early childhood teacher and she had a business and she did pop-up shops where she would pop up and she would show you how to do 4 activities in your classroom. And you did it actually in the session. So it's early childhood. So, you know, a lot of that stuff is hands-on. And so she showed them how to do 4 highly engaging activities in their classroom where some of it they're making stuff, but the adult needed to do it in order to show the kids how to do it. And it was amazing. And the more she did it, the more traction she got. So the first one, she only had 4 people show up. She had 4 people to show up. And then the second one, she had about 10 people show up. Then she started doing ads on Facebook and on social media. The third one, she had about 20 people to show up. So the momentum was growing. By the time she got to her 5th pop-up shop, she had 35 people in the room and she was floored. She loved it. And, you know, PD sessions with a whole bunch of people, you don't want 100 or 200 because you can't really get the lesson in that you're trying to get in. So she loved having 35 people there. And so she's considering doing it again this year, but it's a great way to build momentum. So I've given you lots of stuff. You can do national workshops, okay? Your national workshops. So the thing that you do, different states, you're doing the same one over and over in different states. Same one over and over in different states. Turn it into a national workshop. I think y'all got enough. I think you got enough. It's your turn. Which one of the methods are you going to consider utilizing? I want you to pick 3. Pick 3 of them that you know that you can get some traction on, that you know will work for you, that you know will resonate with your vision and mission for your business. So you have all of the ways to scale your business. I told you I would give you the ways to scale your business. I want you to think about what is it that you need to do? How is it that you're going to continually bring leads into your business? Because you can't do this scaling until you have technically surpassed the $100,000 mark. Because other than that, what are you scaling? You're just growing. And so the mistake that we tend to make is that we want to scale too quickly. And that's a dangerous mistake to make. So the first thing we got to do is adjust our life for exponential growth. You got to determine what's important. So that exponential growth is, what is it that I need to eliminate from my life to allow me the 240 minutes I need per day to dedicate to my dream life? That's the first thing you got to figure out. And then once you figure that out, you got to then figure out, so now that I figured out what I need to eliminate, what are the things I need to use my time, my new time on in order to have my dream life? and what support systems do I need, and how much is this going to cost me? And then you do that. You got to figure out what are the gaps that are currently in your business that you're not making $100,000 a year. If you're not making $100,000, you're still in the launch phase. Let me be clear. You're still launching your business because you are still trying to figure out how to make the income that you need to make to get to where you're trying to go. So that's why that $100,000 is the marker. I see some great stuff in the chat. I see monthly subscription program, team, and upsell. Yes, I need to eliminate fear and procrastination and get more consistent. Saying no to working for free. Rhonda, high five. High five, Rhonda. Shalonda says, Dr. D, you are a bad woman. Thank you for your expertise and time. You are absolutely welcome. Kara says, consistently spend those 20 hours a week working on my business. That's what I'm talking about, because we got to get those things straight first before we can consider how we're going to scale. And so when we get to how we're going to scale, you come up with your 3 methods that you're going to use to scale your business, and then you know them. You got to write them down. You can't just say them today. It has to be a part of your long-term plan. Yes, Kelly says, build my community, team, and then build a franchise. High five, Kelly. Yes. So got to get a consistent work schedule. Yes. So figure out your 3 methods. And then think about how these folks scale their businesses. These are the things that we have to think about. Stop thinking that people are special. No one is special. All of us are special, but no one is extra special. All of us are unique individuals with gifts and talents and things that have been appointed to us in our lives. It's all about how you use it. If you think that Jeff Bezos is any different from you, he is not. He started Amazon in his garage. He is not. He was a weird little quirky guy who wanted to start a book business, and he was willing to trust the process. And now he owns, oh my God, are there really any words to describe what Amazon is? Elon Musk. He no different from us. He got a talent and a gift just like you do. I have a talent of being able to strategize and to make the complex simple. That's my gift. I have the gift to be able to teach. I'm going to monetize that gift. And like somebody just said, Marissa said, stop working for free. Stop working for free. Leave the building at the end of the contract day to take back my time and work on my business. That's all it is, people. These people went after their dreams. Look at this. They went after it. And they didn't let small stuff stand in their way. They didn't say, I'm not going to the networking meeting. I'm not going over here to do this. I'm going to talk on the phone with my friend all night. They didn't say, I'm finna sit up on Instagram all eat. That's not what they did. And they created some of this stuff. That's right, Verna. Bezos went bankrupt 3 times. We scared to take a risk. Verna better stop playing with me. She breaking it down to y'all. He went bankrupt 3 times. Do you think, and did not give up? He didn't say, I quit. Apple went bankrupt. Steve Jobs went bankrupt. Because you got to be all in for your dream. You got to be all in. That's all I'm saying. Be all in. Stop half-stepping. Give up the fear. Jump into the pool. Stop putting your pinky toe in. Stop worrying about how it's not going to work. And if you stay focused on the fact that it's going to work or it's going to work, that's all that matters. Think about Snapchat. Snapchat, a lot of y'all thought it was going to be dead by now, because we had TikTok to come and all this. Snapchat is steady growing, steady scaling. They had to figure out how to stay vibrant, how to stay relevant. Some of y'all thought Pinterest would be dead by now. Pinterest was the only platform that had hundreds of millions of users and was zero. They had $0, no money whatsoever. They figured out if we charge people to advertise, they added a service. If we charge people to advertise on our platform, we can stay in business, because they were on their way out of business into bankruptcy. But sometimes you need people, not sometimes, all the time, you need people who have greater knowledge than you do. Think about Groupon. How many of y'all still use Groupon? Like, Groupon used to be real big back in the day, and now they not as big, but guess what? They still making a lot of money because they keep bringing on more clients and doing creative things to scale their business. Some of y'all have eaten that Insomnia cookie or crumble cookie. They have franchises everywhere now. They're mailing out. They're doing things to scale their business. Who is that? Crumble Cookie made $13 billion last year. $13 billion off cookies. Now, y'all need to stop playing. We're talking about cookies here. Your vision should make you excited, plain and simple. When I think about the life that I'm living and the continued dreams that I have for myself, I get excited. When I wake up and I'm tired, all I do is think about the vision for my life, and I say, oh, let me get up. How many times have y'all woke up, your stomach was hurting, you had a headache, your back was hurting, you didn't feel good, and you got yourself up and you went to work anyway, not feeling good? But then when we don't feel good in our business, we say, well, I'm going to go and lay down. I'm just going to do that tomorrow. It can't work like that, folks. If I was willing to get up to make somebody else's dreams come true, I'm willing to get up to make my own dreams come true. If I was willing to do all those things in that school system, I'm willing to do all those things in my own business. Period. That's what I remind myself every time I get tired. So I'm going to offer you an extension of help. This is an extension of help because y'all got good businesses. You can make good money. You can live the life of your dreams. You got to be willing to dream it and to do the work for it. That's all it is, plain and simple. I want you to have a summer of yes. Think to yourself, what could happen if you dedicated nothing but focus from July 1st to August 31st? That's all I'm asking you. Just take a minute and dream. In your business, how much progress do you think you can make if you took June 1st to August 31st to give 100% of your attention to your business? And it doesn't even have to be 100%, because we all know that we still got kids. We still have, other things that we're doing, but we are going to dedicate 4 hours per day to our business. And let me be clear when I say this, because I know that some of us may be literal people. When I say 4 hours per day, sometimes when I was building my business, and even today, to this day, if I can't get 4 hours in today, I might do 6 hours on Saturday, and I might even work on Sunday to make up the hours that I didn't get. But I create a schedule that works for me, where I am giving consistent, dedicated time to my business. So what if during this summer, from June to August, you were able to build your business, launch your business, create the plans for your business, create the programs, and do all the things for your business and get it done properly, and it not take you 6 months, 9 months? Fill the gaps in your business. For those people who already have businesses and you're not making $100,000 a year, there is a gap. There is something that you need to fix. There are probably many things that you need to work on. And that's okay, because if we build and we don't know, we might miss something. It's just like trying to build a house and you don't understand construction. Some of your foundation is going to be off. When you get into scaling, you're going to learn what happens when you scale with a weak foundation. You're going to learn that the hard way. Let's stop learning lessons the hard way, folks. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to your dream. Say yes to your legacy, because you deserve it. Give yourself a summer of yes. I offer you the opportunity to participate in an amazing boot camp. That's me. It's me. I'm showing up every week for 4 weeks. For 4 weeks. We're going to do every week. It's a 7-day process. It's a 7-day process. So you come to session on Wednesday, and in the session, we talk about the things that you need to do. Each week has a topic. First week is business essentials. And I find that the people who have businesses are the ones who benefit the most, because they are the ones who thought that they thought, let me skip this stage, or they didn't know that they needed this stage, and they missed a lot of stuff. So we start with the business essentials, getting everything. The foundation is going to be firm. And then we do business credit. Y'all, we cannot keep building businesses out of our pockets. And so we walk you through how to get business credit. What do you need to do? What do you need to understand? Having business credit is not like personal credit. It's a totally different ball game. And it never ceases to amaze me. I will meet people who already have a business, and then I will say, do you have business credit? And they will say, yes, I have this so-and-so business credit card. Most times it's an Amex, because Amex will give you a business credit card, but it's a personal guarantee off of your personal credit. And they'll say, oh yeah, I already got business credit. And then when it comes time to use business credit, they keep getting denied because you don't have business credit. You used your personal credit to get a business credit card, but you don't truly have business credit because you didn't do the things I told you to do in the beginning. I give you the steps to do. And with business credit, they don't care about the color of your skin. They don't care about any of that. All they care about is, did you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and did you do them the way I told you to do them? That's all they care about. And that's how you build your business credit. So we get the business credit built because that's how you're going to run your marketing campaigns. That's how you're going to pay to scale your business. Sometimes that's how you're going to pay your employees. But remember, we use money to make money. We don't just use money and not make money in return. So you got to use money to make money, plain and simple. And that's your goal, to get your money pregnant. So that's what we do during week 2. And then week 3, we work through all of your systems to make sure that you have all of the systems. Systems are required for scaling as well as replication. So you got to work the system. You got to have your systems, and it's many systems that you need. And you need to understand how these systems work together. Again, when I'm at a school and they say, can you send me your invoice? I can do it in 3 seconds on my phone. We know the systems that you need for all of the school, for many of the school systems. I won't say for all of them. If you have HoneyBook right now, you are not a professional consultant. Let me just say that. HoneyBook is not what you should be using in the school system. And there are several reasons why not. But there are certain systems that sync with almost every system. It's almost like Apple. If you go into schools with a Dell, I travel all over the US to schools. I had a Dell at first. I had so many problems, always needed the tech guy. Somebody said, you need to get an Apple. It was a current consultant who was at that time much greater than, had more business, had more experience. She said, stop, go get an Apple. I was not a Mac girl. I went and got the Mac. Do you know I haven't had to call tech support since? Because Mac sets it up. But how would you know that? And then some people are so stuck on, oh, no, I need my Dell. Okay, create your own problems. You can have your Dell, but you also need a Mac. And so little things like that. And then we do certifications. We get all of our certifications in place, make sure all of that. And when I say certifications, these are national certifications. You need to be a business just like Walmart, Target, Nike, Discovery Education. You are an education consulting company. You should not be saying, I'm an independent consulting. I have an education consulting company. That's what I have. Are you an independent consultant? Because if you are, I might be able to hire you as an employee. But I myself, I own an education consulting company. And when you pull me up, I look like a company, and you need to look like one too. No one should be looking at your information and saying that's a one-person team, or this is it's a small business. They shouldn't be able to tell. In addition to that, you get 72-hour replays of each of the 4 live sessions where I give you direct instruction. You get to ask questions. You get 72-hour replay, and this is all of June. And then in July, you get to come to the Iman Live in St. Louis, Missouri, and catapult your learning. So we got the business set up. We got everything going. We got you solid. You are 100% solid. Next step is you come to Iman Live. We have someone who's going to be there talking about messaging and how to tell your story. We have someone who's going to teach you how to convert a sale. We have someone who's going to teach you how to publish your book. We have someone who's going to teach you about tax strategy and planning. We have someone who's going to teach you about wealth creation. We have a total of 8 speakers plus myself and a special presentation on government contracting. So that's if you want to do the basic admission. And then if you do VIP, you're going to get a 30-day replay. So if you want to get the replay for 30 days, you can do the 30-day replay plus an exclusive event workbook for the Launch Your Ed Consulting Biz. And then if you want to do VIP, you're going to get a VIP ticket to the event. The VIP ticket allows you to eat lunch with the guest speakers. It allows you upfront seating. There are a lot of perks that come along with VIP. You also get a live 60-minute Q&A session and a 30-day accountability follow-up session to make sure that you did the things that you needed to do. Now, to get people to make a decision, I need you to make a decision for your life. Success loves speed. For those who get signed up today, I'm giving you a 1-hour VIP session with me, a 1-hour VIP planning session with me, a full hour of my time dedicated to helping you on whatever you want me to help you with in your business, 1 full hour. And so that makes this an amazing package because you're going to get your 30 days, 4 sessions with me. You'll be able to watch it in the replay. You'll be able to come to Iman Live, an amazing event. Anybody, I don't know if we have anybody on here who's been to the conference. One of the things that I always tell people about my conferences is that we don't do that typical conference stuff that's stuffy and people are all in cliques and ain't nobody talking to you. Again, we like small numbers. About 50 people will be at the event, and we make sure that everybody feels included. It is planned that way. We're not doing things where people feel excluded, where people don't know where you are. We have a lot of fun. Everything that we do are around our values of fun and joy, of learning and growth, and of making people feel welcome. So you don't have to worry about, I don't want to come by myself. I need somebody to come with me. No, you don't. We're going to make sure that you got somebody to eat lunch with. You're going to be eating lunch with everybody else. It's set up that way. And it's small. It's not that 300, 400, 500 people conference. You're going to be okay. Somebody said, I already got my ticket, hotel, and flight. All right, Miriam. She said, can we pay for the conference separately? You absolutely can. So here are a couple of options. You can do it alone. I'm telling you, that's not what you want to do. You can keep researching for endless hours and doing guesswork. You can keep paying coaches who don't have any idea about educational consulting. They know about some other stuff, but there are some complexities in the school system that they don't know about because they've never worked in the school system. You can possibly keep implementing the wrong activities and not getting results, or you can watch another 6 months go by with little to no progress. The folks who are in my programs will tell you the amount of progress they make in 30 days, it took some people 3 years to make that amount of progress. We have someone who's been in my program now for 3 months. She said in these 3 months, she's made more progress in 3 months than she's made in 6 years in her business. So again, you get a bonus VIP session with Dr. D, and you just got to bet on yourself. There's the link to get signed up. It's educatorsmovingon.com/Launch Your Ed Consulting Biz Bootcamp. That's the link. And we'll get it in the chat as well. But I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this opportunity. Give yourself the chance to be the highest version of yourself, to live your dream, to live the lifestyle that you want. One thing we already know is that you're not going to make $15,000 in the school system. You're not about to make $10,000 a month in the school system. You're not about to make $25,000 a month in the school system, not as an employee on one contract. Give yourself the opportunity to explore this and to make it happen. That's all you have to do. So you gotta say yes to yourself. You got to say yes to your dreams. And I want you to think about if this were one of your kids coming to you and said, Mom, I want to participate in this thing at school and it costs $600. You're going to do everything that you need to do to make that happen. You're going to run up whatever credit card, you're going to call and borrow whatever you need to borrow. Why don't you have that same love for yourself and for your own dreams. We got to stop putting our dreams on the back burner and making the best way to show your kids is to show them how to live the life of their dreams, to show them how to make their dreams work. And so I just encourage you to make a choice and don't try to do this alone. The struggle is not necessary nor required. Do you hear me? The struggle is not necessary nor is it required. You do not have to struggle. You do not have to do any of these hard things. We got to stop making life hard, but we do have to take greater risk. We have to try things that we haven't tried before. But I can tell you, ain't no comfort. You're not getting a reward in your comfort zone. All of these ladies, as you look back there, that was conference last year. We've had a conference since then in February. And all of these folks and a few gentlemen are in their business, thriving, doing the things that they need to do, bringing money into their household and going after their dreams. And you could be one of them too, but we have to make the decision to move forward and to say yes to ourselves and to say yes to our dreams. So if you're not currently following me, follow me on Instagram at Educators Moving On. We have a podcast. Y'all follow my podcast. Pull those phones out right now. Go on those phones, subscribe to my podcast. And the podcast is a little different. The podcast talks about what we need to move on from and what we need to move on to. So we talk about things like imposter syndrome, fear of failure, fear in general. We talk about how to have a regret-proof life, how to live the life of your dreams. So that's what the podcast is about. We bring on real people. So one week we talk about theory, the next week we talk about application. And then, on Facebook, I'm Educators Moving On. And I come on there and I teach nothing but strategy. Like I go on and I teach strategy, and that's absolutely free. So join me on all 3 platforms. Instagram, birthright. Abundance is your birthright. You can have whatever it is that you believe that you can have. But if you don't believe that you can have anything, you won't get anything. If you believe that what you have is enough, that's exactly what you're going to get. And so I encourage you that if you adopt the belief and understand that abundance is truly your birthright, you will know that you can have whatever you want. You just have to be willing to work for it, because prayer without works is absolutely dead. And so as we move forward, let's see, it's saying, what does it want me to do? All right, so I want to stop share. All right, let me see. Am I stopping share? I hope that I'm stopping share. Okay, so I think it wants me to, let's see, escape. All right, so it wants me to move over here. Okay, it says I'm sharing my entire screen. I want to stop share right there. Okay. All right. So I kept clicking the wrong button. What's the podcast again? It's Educators Moving On. It is Educators Moving On is the podcast. And then let me drop the link for just the live event alone. If you are looking for just the link for the live event alone, here you go. And let's see, there we go. So you should be able to, I'm trying to see why am I not showing in the video. You should be able to just go onto the live event by itself at this point, if you want to just do the live event. But again, I encourage you to say yes to yourself. Say yes to yourself. I'm here to tell you, we have too many success stories in the group of people who don't have the connections, of people who don't have, all of these things that we believe that we have, who are now bringing in $5, $6, $8, $10,000 a month. We have one person in 18 months made $180,000. And we have many who have already surpassed the 6-figure mark. We have somebody who just closed a $24,000 contract 3 days ago for, I think she had 5 days of work in that $24,000 contract, and got an email last night of somebody else who closed another contract that is $68,000. What time on Tuesday does the event start and time on Thursday end event? So on Tuesday, we start at noon and we end on Thursday at 5 p.m. And for those who are wondering, flights into Missouri, the Midwest, are extremely reasonable. So, all right, guys, you have the links. Make sure that you check it out. Say yes to yourself. Don't forget you're going to get a extra VIP session with me, and we can do that first. You will get to schedule it. It'll be one-to-one. You get to schedule it, and we'll talk about your business, and I'll help you to create the plan for your business, like what you need to be thinking about, what you need to be leaning towards, like what are the likelihood, what have I seen in the school systems, what about with the consultants that I work with, and whatever you want to talk to me about. Some people, they use their VIP session to work through proposals. Some people use their VIP sessions to think about their mission vision of their business, whatever it is. That's an exclusive hour just for you. And an hour with me is typically about $500 an hour to work with me. So this is a great opportunity for you. I would love for you all to be at the event and to experience being in the room. There is nothing like being in the room. This is a fabulous opportunity. The VIP bonus will end. This is only for the people who are in this session. This is not a continued bonus that happens anytime. So if you noticed last week when I did the masterclass, there was a bonus for that. This week, it's a different bonus. So I want to be sure that we understand that we are people of integrity around here, and we don't just do stuff just to get people in. The bonus, you will get a 1-hour VIP session with me, and that's it. And then after that, it's just a regular ticket price. So give yourself the gift of yes. Make this your summer of change. Make this your summer of activity. And you all have a great rest of your day.